All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on something that's quietly changing everything, data science. You know, it's shaping the world we live in, the choices we make, and it's happening in ways you probably don't even notice. So let's jump right in.
To kick things off, just look at this number. Every single day, that's all of humanity, create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. That's a 2 with 18 zeros after it. It's an absolutely insane amount, a true tidal wave of information, and it's the raw fuel for everything we're about to talk about.
So, a fair question is, where in the world is all this data coming from? And you might think it's all from giant corporations or scientific research, but nope. A massive chunk of it is coming from us, from you and me, every single day.
I mean, just think about your day. You've got the Internet of Things, or IoT. That's your smartwatch, your smart thermostat, even your coffee machine, all chatting away online. Then there's social media, which generates a mind-boggling amount of data every single second. Our cars, our online shopping carts, the shows we stream, it's all creating this gigantic, constantly growing digital shadow.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Let's do a little then versus now. It really wasn't that long ago that all our data could fit on a few floppy disks. It was neat, it was tidy, it was what we call structured. Flash forward to today, and it is a completely different ballgame. The data is stored in the cloud, and most of it is a chaotic mess of images, videos, and text, totally unstructured. You can't just plug that into a simple spreadsheet. You need something way more powerful. And that's exactly why data science was born.
So what is data science, really? When you boil it all down, it's the art and science of being a detective for data. It's about sifting through all that chaos to find the hidden clues, the surprising patterns that no one else can see, and then using those clues to solve real problems and make incredibly smart decisions.
Okay, I know that all sounds a little abstract, so let's bring it down to earth with some amazing real-world stories. This is where the theory gets real and honestly a little weird.
So let's talk about Walmart. They've got this absolute mountain of sales data, right? And they're thinking, how can we use this to get smarter, especially when things get chaotic, like right before a hurricane hits? They wanted to predict what people would rush to buy so they could have it on the shelves.
So they started digging in, using a technique called data mining, and they found something that nobody would have ever guessed. It wasn't flashlights, it wasn't canned goods. The item that saw the biggest sales spike? Strawberry Pop-Tarts. Sales shot up by 700%.
And you might be thinking, strawberry Pop-Tarts? Who cares? But this is the whole point. Finding a quirky, hidden pattern like this is pure gold. Now, when a storm is brewing, Walmart knows to load up trucks with Pop-Tarts and send them straight to the stores in the hurricane's path. They took a weird insight and turned it into a real, profitable business strategy.
Okay, here's one I know you've all experienced. Netflix. They are the absolute kings of this stuff. Their whole recommendation system is a data science marvel. It watches everything you watch, everything you skip, even when you pause, and it uses all of that data to predict with scary accuracy the next show that's going to get you hooked.
So we've seen some of the cool results, but how does it actually happen? What's the secret sauce? Well, it's not magic, even though it can feel like it. There's a structured process that turns all that raw data into something genuinely valuable.
The whole thing really breaks down into about 5 main steps. First, you gotta get the data. That's extraction. Second, and honestly this is where a ton of the hard work happens, is wrangling. That's the big cleanup job. Then you get to the fun part, analysis, where you start hunting for those relationships. Fourth is modeling. This is where you bring in the heavy hitters like machine learning to build a predictive model. And finally, evaluation. You gotta test your work, right? Make sure the model actually works before you unleash it on the world.
So who are these wizards who do all this? Well, data scientists are a really unique breed. You've got to have serious math and stat skills, you need to be a coding expert, and you have to have the critical thinking to ask the right questions in the first place. But here's the kicker. You can be a genius with numbers, but if you can't explain what you found to the people who need to act on it, it's pretty much useless. Communication is key.
All right, let's pull the camera back and bring this right back to your life. Because this stuff isn't just happening at Walmart or Netflix. It is running in the background of your life, right now, in more ways than you can imagine. Just think about it. That spam filter in your email that magically catches all the junk? Pure data science. When Google Maps reroutes you around a sudden traffic jam, yep, that's data science predicting traffic in real time. Or when your bank sends you a text about a weird charge on your card, that's a data model that knows your spending habits and spotted something that didn't look right.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that the raw data itself is just potential. The real power, the magic, is unlocked when you know how to process it. Data science is the key that turns all that noise into a clear, meaningful signal that you can actually act on.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. Now that you've had a peek behind the curtain, it kind of makes you look at the world a little differently, doesn't it? What other hidden patterns, what other invisible forces are out there right now, quietly shaping your world?